In 3, 2, 1. Hi there. Welcome back to the Beauty Birds podcast, where we talk all things beauty, makeup, industry, and everything in between. We is Tara, my glorious co-host and the brains and the beauty behind Simply Terrible on Instagram, and me, Becca, who you can also find on Instagram at Becca and Eggs for all things lunch, lipstick, and library books.
I am in Pittsburgh and Becca is in Austin, but despite our long-distance friendship and being complete opposites in the beauty world, we are the go-tos for pretty much everyone we know, whether it is makeup, skincare, what brand screwed up this time, and is that product you got actually safe to put on your face? On that note, what's on your face?
Today I'm using the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, which I know you own as well.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's such a good one. This look, I almost completely copied off of a video from Lauren May Beauty. And then I can't believe I'm going to say this, but because you told me to, I'm wearing a lip gloss today. I'm wearing the Fenty Beauty Fussy lip gloss, which I actually just got. I kind of can't believe I bought a gloss. I think you're rubbing off on me.
I can't believe it either, but it looks awesome.
Are you wearing gloss today? What you got on?
I was wearing gloss actually, but I think it's rubbed off. It was the ColourPop So Juicy gloss. But I did want to mention the two weird products that I'm wearing today because we were talking last week about brands that kind of like faded off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
I am wearing Benefit's High Beam, the liquid highlighter.
It's a good one.
I know, right? I was looking at all my highlighters and just was like, I haven't worn you in a while. And also Clinique's Chubby Stick, their blush. I forgot what the shade is. We'll write it down below. But one of my favorites, it's like a mauve blush, and it's a cream product. You know me and cream products.
I love a mauve blush. I love a cream blush. I've actually also been enjoying and am wearing a cream blush. I just recently got the new one of the MAC Glow Play blushes. It's like a cream to powder formula in the shade Groovy, which is sort of this, I don't know if you could have muted and neon at the same time, but it's this coral shade that I didn't think was going to work for me, and I kind of love it.
Looks awesome. What's weird, I didn't see that on Trendmood or anywhere.
I think Julia Adams is the one who she mentioned them in a video, and I was like, okay, I need green blushes because I live in Texas now, and I'm not putting powder on my face when it's going to be like 105 degrees all summer.
I feel that. All right, do you want to dive into today's?
Yes, we're in for another fun one today. We're talking about beauty rules, whether they're good, bad, or we've got a couple that are just completely off the wall. Some are non-negotiable, some you need to learn so you can break, and others are just really off base.
Okay, so I know the strange and unusual rules are the fun ones, but I actually want to talk about the first two rules before we dive off into the wilds, especially the non-negotiables. Let's talk about hygiene. So hygiene for us is a non-negotiable for your own personal collection, right?
Yeah.
And also, if you're working with a professional artist, you want those products and brushes to be doctor's office clean.
I think also if it's your collection that you're applying on friends.
Oh, for sure.
Really anything that's going on in or around your body, whether it's makeup, piercings, tattoos, any kind of change or enhancement you're interested in making, those tools should be sterile or as close to sterile as is reasonable. I recently started keeping my makeup brushes in like a box with a lid so that they're not out and just like collecting dust and dog hair in between uses. And then I do try to wash them every 2 weeks. I've been using the Cinema Secrets brush cleaner for the last, I don't know, probably a couple of years now, but it's just like a bottle of it and you pour it in a little cup and you just dip and wipe them and let them dry.
That is so nifty. I definitely need to wash my brushes more. Everyone does. I try to do mine every 2 weeks, but honestly, if I do like a bright neon look, I absolutely have to wash them as soon as I'm done because if I ever accidentally use a blue brush again when I wanted to use like a light beige, I'm gone. I'll lose it.
I actually thought of you because that's exactly what I did yesterday. I had one of my smaller blending brushes. I had like a bright blue and I dipped right into like light neutral brown and I was furious.
That just sends me into like a blind rage. It's one of those little things. It's not like a day ender. It's just so frustrating.
Easily preventable. All right, so we've got a couple other non-negotiables for, we'll just call them the beauty birds, non-negotiables. Wearing SPF every day.
Definitely.
People listening, your car, if you sit by a window in your office all day, you got to wear sunscreen. And also, don't sleep in your makeup.
Don't sleep in your
Don't do
makeup.
it.
We were talking about this off the recording, but like even on my worst night, even on like 7 margaritas, 4 a.m. nights, like I still managed to crawl into the bathroom and take my makeup off.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but I've had those same adventures. I've partied too hard, probably at bar or at time in Philly, and come home and still woken up in the morning of like, my skincare routine is done. My phone is plugged in. My keys are hanging up. Got to do it. Don't sleep in your
Not,
makeup, people.
do not
Takes
sleep in your
2 minutes.
makeup. All right, so we could talk about those things all day, but I just want to touch on some design rules too, just like the fundamentals of like color and things like that for makeup.
Yes, teach
Um,
me.
well, I don't know everything. Like, I just went to design school, and like, I just know that there's fundamental like rules. If you're watching, I just did, well, if you're not watching, I said quotation marks, because there's not like rules, but there's still things that like you just need a base of knowledge to understand what you're doing, so that when you break them with more intention rather than just haphazardly.
Sure.
Uh, and I think it all boils down to learning the software versus learning the principles. Like, I'm sure it's similar in makeup where it is in design, where you don't just learn from like a YouTube tutorial. If you do, you can definitely just learn like a program, but you're not learning the basis of why you're doing things in the program, so to
Sure.
speak. And I'm not saying that you can't learn like that, but your journey just is different. I'll use an example that applies to both fields, and that is color theory, where you probably follow it to some degree without even thinking about it. But once you know it, it opens like an entire world of possibilities when it comes to looks, as opposed to kind of just like seeing someone do a look and you're like, wow, that sunset look with purple and orange and all of those bright colors looks really cool. I'm going to try that. Rather, you would be able to like open your own collection and see your neons and your neutrals and playing together, and like kind of just be able to pick out what colors go well with each other. Um, and I think that you need to understand those rules to some degree in order to break them. But again, like, it's makeup is what you want to do. So it all just depends on what you want to do that day, I guess. There is an amazing quote from the design realm that I will condense into one sentence because it is very long.
Okay.
But it is basically just about getting your 10,000 hours and how your first few years of work just suck. And I think that's actually like part of the quote. It's just like your first few years suck. And I stand by that. I look back at like everything I made in college and like my first few years, and I'm just like, thank God somebody ever hired me. But I also think that that applies to my makeup choices, because like we said last week, like I look back at what I did in college and I was like, oh, who let me do that? But like it just goes to show how much I've learned throughout the years, not just with like my professional career, but also with makeup and the choices that I made then versus make now.
So the idea is it takes 10,000 hours to be basically an expert or like a pro at whatever you're doing, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because I'm not a pro. I didn't go to design school. I didn't go to culinary school. None of those things. But even I look back at makeup looks from 4 or 5 years ago and like recipes from when I first started my blog, and like that stuff is bad. It is.
Yeah.
Please, guys, please don't look those things up.
Please,
It's
please
not.
don't
It's not
take this.
good.
Do not take this as an opportunity to do a deep dive into either of our portfolios.
Yeah, please, please no.
But again, I just want to stress again that like you don't necessarily have to be classically trained to get those 10,000 hours. But it's a different journey, and
Sure.
look how far we've come. But wow, what a tangent that was. All right, so all that to say, we have some like basic design makeup-y principles that we want to share with you guys. And my favorite one is from Samantha Ravindal, and that is her color theory video that we will link in the show notes and on our blog post. It is a really great resource. She goes through everything from monochromatic looks to complementary colors and everything between.
I think she actually uses yellow as her example in that video, and I'm wearing like a yellowy orange today. I should rewatch that, but I remember, I think I watched it a couple of times when she first came out with it. It actually pairs beautifully with our other two resources that we wanted to recommend today. One is from Temptalia. She's kind of I don't know, she's the queen bee of beauty. If you want a review, if you want to know about a product, that's where to go. She's got a great like not how to apply eyeshadow, but like where to apply eyeshadow, and like eyelid space eyeshadow diagram on her blog, and we're going to link that article. And then also makeup artist Rebecca Shores. I think she's in Seattle, but she's got a couple of them. I'm just going to link the one, but she's got a few like step-by-step placement tutorials on her blog where she really like with each color almost does this like dotted design around the eye of like showing where she's placing each color. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, I remember those are some of the first things that I saw when I started getting into makeup. She had like little charts, right? Where it was like upper lid, lower lid, crease, and
But
like
like
showed.
each one is like, she's like, okay, here's a picture just for like the base color. And then like,
Yeah,
they're great.
very, very helpful.
All right. You taught me all the design things. Hopefully you taught everybody else a couple things. I like what you said about color theory, that we're kind of following some of those rules without knowing it, but most people could probably stand to understand a little bit more. But I really want to get to the meat. I think we both crowdsourced some answers, and I also did a little bit of Googling magazine research for the sometimes really terrible advice that magazines so helpfully provide us.
Oh
So
God.
we should go through some of those and talk it out.
Okay. Do you want to start off?
Yeah, I think one that I get hung up on a bit because it's something my mom says to me a lot is if I wear like a dark or a deep lipstick during the day, she'll tell me that it's like an evening color. And I usually have some kind of snarky response of like, no, mom, it's a daytime color because I'm wearing it in the daytime. But like, why do we know where that rule came from? That like dark colors and the deep shades are only for evenings.
I don't know where that came from, but I've also heard it. I don't think I've heard my mom say it, but I feel like I've heard like day to night tutorials always
Mm-hmm.
start with like light stuff and then transition into like a dark cranberry lip, and it's like, why is that the night one? uh I personally feel a lot more comfortable.
It's fine.
I I personally feel a lot more comfortable in a dark lipstick or like just like an offbeat color all around, rather than like a neutral.
I definitely go for a lot of neons. I'm probably not gonna wear like a super deep berry vampy lip color to work, but I do love like a bright shade or something other than like my lips but better like neutral pink.
Yeah, definitely not my jive. I'll do the next one,
Yeah.
which is light skin should only use brown eyeliner or mascara, and that black is too harsh.
I've heard that before. I think it's something I heard a lot when I was like early teens and just getting into makeup. Um, I suppose like maybe for some like very, very fair skin, it could be more flattering, but I don't feel like it should be a rule that you have to follow.
Yeah, I think that definitely falls into the category of more like beginner rules, where it's like back in the day when they would show like the Alame quads that we're going to talk about, where it's like if you have brown eyes, you have to do this. But I also think it's to protect against really clumpy black mascara, if that makes sense. Like, here's your beginner toolbox. Don't go too crazy.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. But on the note of those Almay quads, that was like a really big trend for a while of like, if this is your eye color, these are the eyeshadows that you wear, period. I think it was like, if you have blue eyes, it's like corally shades. And I have like hazel eyes, so mine was always purple and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, I always had the most boring ones ever because it was brown eyes and it was like, here's the, beige colors you can wear.
Which is so funny because now like brown is, I mean, you can basically treat it like a neutral and everything looks good.
Okay, we're back. I had to relocate. My husband came home from work a little early, so I am now in our room. Should have planned ahead, but here we are. So where were we?
I think we were just going to talk about, we said light skin, black mascara is too harsh, debatable, maybe for some
Debatable.
people, not a you must follow rule. I wanted to talk about, I think you were the one that mentioned this of not wearing mascara on your lower lashes.
Yeah, my sister-in-law gave me that one. She said her mom always told her never, ever, ever wear mascara on her lower lashes, which I've never heard of before.
I've only heard that in the context of somebody who wears glasses, which I do, and the thinking behind it being that like glasses already kind of put a darker shadow on the lower part of your eyes, and
Mhm.
that putting mascara on your lower lashes like brings more darkness. And I don't know if it was like it can like kind of bring your face down or what, but I actually do follow that rule. Part of it being because I'm kind of sweaty and my mascara gets all over my face. So I just stopped putting mascara on my lower lashes so I don't have, black smudges all over my face.
Yeah, it's actually never one that I've ever followed. I probably, in hindsight, looked pretty smudgy.
I mean, mascara's improved a lot over the last, even I would say the last 5 years, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had people like come up to me and be like, why aren't you wearing mascara on your lower lashes? I'm like, I don't know.
I
I
don't
follow
know.
that rule with my glasses.
All right, which one's next?
I think that actually kind of fits into this old rule, maybe old rule I grew up with of you can like accentuate your eyes or your lips, but not both.
I've never heard of that either.
I think like maybe it's a good tip for people who are just getting comfortable or like maybe beginner
Sure.
end of skills. So you don't accidentally look like a clown. But like, I don't know. I think also a benefit of having glasses is that they kind of tone down eye looks. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm all for going wild with like neon eyeshadow and then also having a really intense bright lip.
Oh, so am I. In fact, I love that my glasses like camouflage any mistakes that I've made for the day. Like I could do anything, put on a pair of glasses and it looks like a neutral eye.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed about that today because I had this like bright, colorful look, and now with my glasses, it's like, oh, you have like a lovely wash of color. I think we have some fun like skincare ones too, right?
If by fun you mean terrifying,
All right, what do we got?
we have toothpaste on pimples and or crushed aspirin on pimples, which I used to do. But
The
the reason
toothpaste or
behind
the
it,
aspirin?
toothpaste, I've never heard of aspirin. That sounds terrifying. But the thought behind it is that toothpaste would dry it out, I guess. But honestly, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, I have no problem believing that toothpaste will make your skin worse. I actually looked up the aspirin thing because I'd also never heard that before. I think somebody on Instagram had responded to our like questions that apparently aspirin has a chemical in it that's really similar to salicylic acid, which is a BHA or beta hydroxy acid. It's a type of chemical exfoliant, but can you just like not put crushed
I
aspirin on your face, please, people?
Yeah, I mean, like the Stridex Red Box is so accessible and so cheap that like I think it's cheaper to do that.
Yeah, the thing that I was reading was like crush up a pill, mix it with water, turn it into a paste. I'm like, surely you can just go to the pharmacy and buy like some kind of acne treatment for
Right? This is
$5.
this isn't Breaking Bad. We don't need to do that.
On the topic of that chemical exfoliant, though, one of the really aggressive tips that I found in a Google spiral was actually from a dermatologist who said to exfoliate every day. And I don't know, like maybe if you're doing some kind of really gentle exfoliation, I
Sure,
could maybe see the argument, but it just seems so intense and uncalled for and honestly really terrible advice to give to
it
people
does.
that are only into skincare on like a surface level.
There doesn't seem to be any clarification between what kind of exfoliation to do because if you're doing a physical exfoliation every day, RIP your skin. But if you're
Yeah.
doing, I would say like a mandelic acid, right?
Yeah, I guess
Mandelic.
if you're I think it's men.
Is this mandelic?
I don't know. One of them.
Listen, I only ever read the stuff.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you can sometimes use chemical exfoliants every day, but you have to work up to them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, this is yeah. So this is coming from someone myself who uses a lot of skincare every day, and I've done a lot of trial and error, and my face is very receptive to chemical exfoliation. Like it's something I know that it can handle, and whenever I see something starting to go wrong, I pull back a lot.
Yeah.
So taking the advice of exfoliating every single day, not knowing if it's chemical or a physical exfoliator, is really really hard on your skin. You're going to destroy the moisture barrier for starters. You will dry out your skin more than anything else, I believe, and it'll probably get oilier if like that was your concern. Because when you have a damaged barrier, what happens is your skin is dehydrated more and you tend to get oil production ramped up.
Yep. That's my skin. But I do not exfoliate every day. And I think also with physical exfoliants, that's doubly scary because I think people apply a lot of pressure, not thinking about the fact that either the coffee or salt or sugar or whatever the physical thing that you're rubbing onto your skin is already doing the work, and that can
Oh,
cause
for
micro
sure.
tears in your skin.
Yeah, so you don't want to be doing that one at all.
Okay, basically what we're saying is that's a bizarre one. Please don't do that unless
Don't
you're
do that.
like very experienced with chemical or physical exfoliants. Oh, too much.
All right, what else we got?
One of the other like tips or pieces of advice I came across in that same article was about washing your face for 2 minutes. And it was like the description said like it doesn't specifically have to be 120 seconds, but a lot of people just kind of like put on their cleanser and immediately wash it off. And they were saying to sort of like massage it into your skin and like take a minute or two and really kind
Okay.
of work it into the skin. And I actually do kind of do that. Again,
Yeah.
not counting 120 seconds, but I really like oil-based cleansers, and I definitely take the time to sort of massage them into my skin and make sure I'm getting like all the makeup off and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I inadvertently follow that one too. I definitely don't time it or count it or anything, but I definitely like work it in, let it sit there for like a hot second, wash it off.
Yeah, so facial massage while cleansing, kosher. Good tip.
Good advice.
How about the makeup is bad for your skin or makeup will cause wrinkles?
I hate this one so much. We were talking about this one off screen as well, and I was joking that my husband, great at everything, but
Good guy.
often, great guy, but whenever my skin starts to break out a little, and what happens is there's a cycle. My skin will break out a little, and then I'll cover it up more, and he'll be like, well, maybe, the makeup is doing it. And it's not. I promise you it's not. I've been using the same makeup.
Hormones are a thing, people. Um, I do hate this rule, but it kind of makes me laugh too because I like absolutely objectively take 1,000 times better care of my skin now that I do wear makeup regularly
Yeah,
than I
same.
did before makeup was a hobby. Like I cleanse every day, I moisturize every day, I exfoliate a couple times a week. I did not do any of that before makeup was like a thing I did for fun.
Marsh woke up.
Okay, so now that baby man is with dad,
Yep.
we can get back to business. I think you wanted to talk about the very strange rule
Oh,
that I
yeah.
also grew up with of not shaving above the knee.
I think we've all grown up with that one because every single person I polled, and by polled, I mean like aggressively texted my friends, were like, tell me your rules. Every single person was like, oh, yeah, don't shave above your knee. And
Why?
it sounds like they still follow that too from the way that they're like, don't do it. It's like, girl, I do it. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I have to.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that hairy, and I definitely shave above the knee.
Yeah, I am that hairy, and I have to shave above the knee. Like, if I don't, it's just hair. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, Mom. I have to shave above my knee.
I don't understand why that was a rule. Like I remember my mom saying it when I was like, 13 maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. I'm not like
I'm shaving above my knee.
yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, that one just, I don't know. Everybody told me that one, and it kind of just drove me crazy. So I just had to share my crazy with you guys.
All right, guys, you have to either comment on the video or tweet at us or go on our Facebook page and let us know if you shave above the knee.
You have to let me know.
Okay, I don't know if this one is true, but one of the lists I came across online was about beauty rules that British royals are supposed to follow, and one of them was that they have to keep their nails short and should only ever be a pale pink color.
So I think that one is true because I remember reading a headline somewhere, and I'm not one of those people that follows the royals, but I do recall seeing, I do too sometimes, but I do recall seeing something about Meghan Markle wearing black nail polish and how that was like a slap in the face to the queen.
But I feel like from pale pink to black is like a really wide range. I mean, if my mom is the queen, I also sort of did that by wearing black nail polish as a
Yeah,
teenager.
same. Definitely same. But yeah, I don't know if there's like a middle ground between black nail polish and pale pink. Maybe like pale beige is okay. Maybe pales are okay. But
Like,
black we know now is off limits.
what is it? Essie ballet slippers?
Oh,
Is that what
that's
it
such a
is?
classic one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
Excuse
that's
me.
what I always think of. But one of the more, I don't know, should we call them, who on earth told you this?
Where did you hear that?
Who told you this and why are you doing it? One of the responses I got on Instagram was somebody saying that you're supposed to brush your hair 100 times.
That is lunatic. That's some lunatic stuff.
um, did this advice come to you from like Rapunzel? Like, I
What?
don't, especially if you have thinner hair or oily hair, as you like brush from the root down, you can actually like pull all that oil
Oh, for sure.
down and you're actually making your hair less nice.
And if you have curly hair, you don't brush your hair in general. Like that's just a thing. If I were to brush my hair, I go from curls to Hagrid real fast. Every once in a while, like if I'm gonna dye my hair myself, I'll do it, and I send those pictures to everybody because they look ridiculous.
Okay, next time I need that picture. We'll
It's
have to,
insane.
we'll put it on the Beauty Birds Twitter
Oh, we will.
at Beauty Birds Pod.
But yeah, I don't know who on earth and why on earth they're brushing their hair 100 times.
I don't know. But I've got one more that might be even more bizarre than that one. A friend told me this. She said that she was told to eat salmon, fine,
Sure,
but because it makes your face look thinner, fine,
maybe.
the same day, like in 4 to 6 hours.
Like, I'm going to the bar tonight. I want to look good. Let me eat some salmon for dinner.
Yeah, pretty much. This has to have been like a lost in translation thing that kind of devolved from salmon is good for you and can help you lose weight and like be trim and like omega-3s are good for you, but I don't know how that turned into same day skinny.
Yeah, that one is actually unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love salmon, I love sushi, I will eat all the salmon, but like it's not making me look thinner the same day.
Who knew? Maybe it is.
I can't. I don't have anything to say. I have reread that like 4 times and it makes me laugh every time.
You put it on the list and I was just like, I don't understand what.
I tried to do some Googling, but everything was just like, it's good for you. It can help you lose weight.
Sure, yeah, these are all things that like,
I
you
don't
know,
know. I think somebody lied and like, I'm dying to know where this got started.
I think it is the ultimate game of telephone where it was like, if you eat a healthy diet of moderation and consume salmon, one day you might be skinnier. And someone was like, salmon will make me skinnier. And then the next person was like, salmon will make me skinny now.
Today.
Today.
Is that our whole list? I think
I think that's it.
we went through the good, the bad, and where on earth did you hear this?
Who told you that? Yeah, so I think that is everything we have time for today. Don't forget to check out our blog and the show notes because we typically link everything we've talked about down there, whether it's influencers, products, and whatnot. Be sure to follow us on social media, which is about to be a longer list than you would imagine because we also made a at Beauty Birds Podcast Instagram, at Beauty Birds Pod Twitter. We are on Facebook, and we are also ourselves on Instagram at Simply Terrible and at Becca and Eggs. So yeah, check us out there, and we will see you next Wednesday.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Don't forget, the website is beautybirdspodcast.com.
Oh, and wear sunscreen. All right. Bye.
Bye.